Hello, bruv. I'm dying for some chips. But instead I'm going to do this because I've been working on these books for hours. Hours! O-W-A-H-S. Hours. The way to behave to a woman is to make love to her if she is pretty, and to someone else if she is plain. Women only call each other sister after they have called each other a lot of other things first. The good end happily, the bad unhappily. That is what fiction means. God, I can see why I've never read Oscar Wilde. What is this supposed to be? The fatality of good resolutions is that they are always too late. All right. One should never make one's debut with a scandal. One should reserve it. Get out of my life. I like the woodcuts, though. Fuck this guy otherwise. Boring twat. My mama says there aren't any zombies, ghosts, vampires, creatures, demons, monsters, fiends, goblins, or things. Judith Bjorst. Bjorst! There's 2 copies of this, and if it had been worth anything, I would have got them both. But I'm sure if I go back, they'll still be there. And once I asked for chocolate nut, and she brought back a rum raisin, so sometimes even mama makes mistakes. Look at this grumple fuck. I can't, you can, I can't, you can, I can't, you can, she told me. This is great stuff. $0.59. What does a witch need? Looks like a cat and a fucking dog to me. Keep out, poison. Do not pick private property. Not welcome. Keep going. Hands off toadstools and get out of here. Hey, it's Gundella. Right behind her was a little dog. Shoo, scat, said the witch. Stop following me. But the little dog stayed close behind her. The old witch sniffed. She wiped her eyes. She blew her nose. Slowly, slowly, she stirred her brew. It was very lonesome in her cave. Her dear old cat was dead. Oh, that's sad, buddy. I like this art by Ted Schroeder. It's great, mate. What year was this book? 1971. The poor old witch, what will she do? The poor old witch is sad and blue. She has no cat with soft black fur to watch the fire and blink and purr. This book, The Gods of Mount Olympus, by Robert Penn Warren. It's from 1959, which is why I got it. It's missing its jacket, but that's okay. There's some good block cuts in there. Actually, these look like drawings, not block cuts. Blockhead. Look at this fucking guy. That's what I really got it for, the Cyclops. Obviously, if you don't know mythology, but now you're a dullard. Mary Baker Eddy, who I believe was a leader of the spiritualists. Preface. The emergence of a new religious movement is not often subject to close scientific observation. The great historic religions have sprung from obscure beginnings. Clouded with legend and mystery, they are aptly represented by the biblical figure of an angel which, though its face might shine like the sun, came clothed with a cloud. Maybe she was... I don't know what religion she was. I thought she was spiritualist, but maybe I'm wrong. Christian Science, that's what it is. Anyway, I have another book by her, which is apparently worth some money. This one may be or may not be. I do not know. The Future is History. How Totalitarianism Reclaimed Russia. Masha Gessen. Masha be guessing, all right. Grief arrested. This is award-winning journalist Masha Green's understanding of the events and forces that have racked Russia in recent times is unparalleled. In the future as history, Cho's guessing follows the lives of 4 people born at what promised to be the dawn of democracy. Each of them came of age with, well, I mean, if they're not a democracy, we're definitely not. And, I mean, we're just as totalitarian as Russia. You can say we're not by degrees, but we are. Which is why they hate Putin, because they want to be complete tyrants, and he only wants to be a petty tyrant with lots of power. Boy Clinton. Today, I found the book which held all my books with presidents in them, outside of my books that don't have presidents. And I already have this book, but it was paperback, so it's good I got this one. And the only reason why I got it was because three books would be $1.50 plus tax and then rounding up, but the girl who was ringing it up did not ask me if I want to round up, which is good because I didn't want to round up. And she was kind of hot, but I don't think that's why she didn't ask me. But one never knows. Anyway, Emmett Terrell Jr. Probably heard about that book on Mark Scott's show back in the day on XYT in 1270 AM. Mark is now deceased. Emmett Terrell may be deceased. Glenda the Witch definitely is deceased. A refreshingly different story about a most unusual witch. Glenda is nasty and witchy and very, very funny. This book is in great shape. I don't know what year it is. No barcode, so fuck year does it say? 69er. She got her kitty too. Her familia. I don't know what it's about, but it's going in my list. Murder in Retrospect, a Hercule Poirot mystery. Another great condition book by Agatha Christie. And I basically got it for the same reason as Boy Clinton. It's possible I can sell it with another excellent Agatha Christie. You get a couple of them selling for like $10-12. That's all you need. Yeats, W.B. Yeats, The Tower. Which is curious because Yeats, like I guess Jeffers wasn't his protege, but Jeffers was a follower of Yeats, especially his wife was. He built a tower for that wife, Una Jeffers. And that's where he wrote and she hung out. Don't really know what this book's about. A last-minute shopper entering a London bookstore on Valentine's Day in 28 with 6 shillings to spend on a gift for his beloved could hardly have made a better investment, either poetically or financially, than one of the 2,000 copies of a volume of McMahon. 21 poems and 104 pages, 6 pages of notes. Olive green cloth with a design by T. Sturge Moore stamped in gold on front and spine, also reproduced on the dust jacket. No illustrations, no book club dividends, simply one of the seminal volumes of modern poetry. Indeed, poetry in English as we know it. Doubtless not every lyric is a masterpiece, but how often have we been given between two covers such moments of magnificence as sailing to Byzantium, Byzantium, Leda and the Swan, and Among School Children, not to mention the Tower Meditations, The Time of Civil War, 1919, or two songs from a play, A Thing Never Known Again. Indeed. I don't know. Maybe this is why Jeffers wanted the tower and built his. There's also a book out which features Rilke, Yeats, Jeffers, and was it Jung, who also had a tower, which is quite a good book. I read it years ago when I bought it, as it pertained to Jeffers, so of course I bought it. And yeah, it's a great book. Maybe I'll have to revisit that or read Yeats in between my Laura Mundo reading. As you can see, I also bought a record. The First Man in the Moon. What did I tell you? It's a satellite. Does that look like a fucking an astronaut ship, or does that look like an alien ship? I'm gonna say it looks like an alien ship, buddy. That's how I believe in aliens. But I do believe the CIA is a communist organization, and it hates us and will kill us if it has a chance. Not that it needs to kill me, because why would they? It is Professor Cavor. That's weird, because the one of the streets near where I grew up was named Cavor. It's curious too, because when I was at the store buying stuff, there was a book by an author named Farwell. No, not Farwell. Far Less. And the guy who lived in me home 60, 70 years ago was named Robert Far Less. Seeing as my name is Robert, it's curious. Well, I'm showing you shit. I might as well show you my little old pals. My old pals fishing tackle box I picked up today too, which is worth quite a bit of money. Well, not tons, but $25 or $30, and I paid $2 for it. See, it doesn't open. Maybe that's why it doesn't open so well. Well, no, it's not opening at all. Maybe I jacked it up. What's going on here? Well, I guess I'm not selling this. It's fucking jacked up. There it comes out, sort of. Oh, man, it's stuck. There it comes, there it comes. We got it. Obviously, its utility is something jacked up about it. It needs to be fixed. And I'm not the man to do it. I'm the man to sell this motherfucker for profit. Let's get on to these. What a bunch of shitty library books that I'm not going to use, but they draped my collection of 9 books. Got a jacket because of them. Idea of Marriage and Physiology and Technique. A book that I put on my shelf of by cats, rock stars. I don't know why I have a bunch of rock books. I'll never read them. I don't even care about them. There's my books on drugs behind the Popular Mechanics. And then over there is Sex and Marriage, cat books, music. What's that lower one? I think that's just Sex and Marriage too. Part of the Sex and Marriage. Anyway, this book will go back on that shelf. Island Tempest by Michael blah blah Mushaw. That's a kitten. Anyway, it put a nice jacket on my Robert Kennedy Assassination 25 to 68 book. since his son is in the news recently as a presidential candidate. Nice, I like it. The Second Goldfish. Stories by David Means. I might look at this one. Put a nice jacket on Scheherazade. Scheherazade. I don't know how to say that. Don't care. It's one of the great cat covers I have of my cat books. The only thing my child will probably want. I've been wanting to buy this book for a while. National Spelling Bee and the Culture of Word Nerds. And that will go into my book of whatever it's called. Dictionaries and words. It's ironic that the Spelling Bee would be the rapper for Killer Clown John Wayne Gacy, since he basically ate children. But now, up there in the true crime section, it will go. The Big Show, Steve Pond, High Times and Dirty Dealings backstage at the Academy Awards. Don't give a fuck. That goes on to The Tiger in the House, the classic book on the history, manners, and habits of the cat. As I told my child recently, I've stopped collecting cat books, but I have not completely stopped collecting them. And I will collect more that are not necessarily just, this is the Siamese cat, the tribe of tiger. Like a book like this, I'll collect. Just not going to be pithy. Although, it's hard. If I see like something on Mr. Kidder's, I'll get it. The Purification Ceremony, a novel of suspense. And that covers, as you can see, it's got the embossment still stuck on it, but it covers Ernest Hemingway, A Life Story, which is not a particularly valuable book because it's not in great condition. But now the jacket is covered. The jacket is probably two-thirds of the value. My Lucky Star, Joe Keenan, piece of shit book. Communion, it provides a wrap-up for Communion by Whitley Strieber, which I featured in a recent transmission. I don't know. Low-fat, low-cholesterol cookbook. Which put a jacket on my raggedy copy of The Inflation Crisis and How to Resolve It. And then when I open that, a little door over there, as I'm sorting more and more books as I'm trying to put them up somewhere, I found I had the exact same book, The Inflation Crisis and How to Resolve It, by Henry Hazlitt. And now I got 2 copies apparently, both in jackets. And lastly, Herr Schnoodle and McBee, which provides the Mylar for Aliens Among Us by Ruth Montgomery. Cool beans. And then I guess I should showcase this motherfucker. I've always wanted some pool balls. Get it in an old drawer. Perhaps I can build a little table for this. What do you think? At least something, some kind of monstrosity where I can just use it to pull it out of something. I can just cut a hole in the wall. Let's cut a hole in the wall and play with my balls in there. These are great balls, mate. Like the handle. Since I was cleaning up my hardware for me porch, which I'm finally going to work on again somehow. I need to start sanding those doors and get it working. I need a sander. I really need a sander. I don't know what I'm going to do. I know what I'm not going to do is continue with this talk. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.